Elektra. I am known as the Bandit of Burlesque. I reside in Humboldt County, California. I have decided to use my platform to share my experience of my travels through the land of burlesque. I have been performing burlesque for 4 years now, producing for 2. I want to share with you what was going on in my mind throughout my journey within burlesque, why I started burlesque, where I come from, and most importantly, where I want to go and how I want to impact people that I work with, that I live in a community with, and that I feel I am responsible to as a leader within the community. My hopes are that I will have the ability to stop a cycle of abuse and microaggression. I want to acknowledge that speaking up is terrifying, and releasing thoughts and experiences is emotional, vulnerable, and scary. I feel as if my life has greater purpose when I'm able to share my humanness with others. I feel that my mission in life is to encourage and motivate other people. And in order for me to do that and be that person, I have to address many things within my personal life and have enough courage to be open to sharing my truth with others. I want to share with you first where I come from. I think that that's a good starting place to help you understand who I am and what mission I am here to accomplish. I am a recovering addict. I am a mother. I am a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm an auntie, and I am a full-time employee. I work with at-risk youth, and I am a leader in my community, and I am a business owner of 2 nonprofit organizations. I utilized the criminal justice system for 17 years of my life. I am a success story. I am a rehabilitated Black woman, and I am free to be me. I was released from incarceration on February 14th, 2011. I had spent 17 years in the criminal justice system, and I was highly addicted to drugs and the lifestyle of the rich and famous. And I spent many years hurting myself, and I spent many years without a dream or a purpose. And when I was released on February 14th, 2011, I had finally, after 17 years, found my dream, found my calling. And I held on to that dream really tight. And it was a dream that many said that I would not be able to accomplish. However, I had hope, and there's no stopping ex-addict, ex-con who is hopeful and inspired to be better and to live a free life in the free world. So I was released, and I had a dream of creating an organization, one that would help other women like myself break the cycle of incarceration. So I began to create that organization while I was incarcerated. And what that looked like was I would wake up every day and I would make my cup of coffee faithfully. Coffee is very important to me. And some of you may see that I use coffee as a way of saying good morning. And that is because that was a ritual that I created for myself while I was incarcerated. And it helped me to feel normal, to feel free, like I was a part of the free world, to wake up and have my tradition of making my coffee. I would then get my yellow notebook of paper and I would sit down and I would go to town with this like 3-inch pencil and start writing out my organization and what I wanted that to look like. That organization started in my imagination and it fell onto paper. And by the 8th week of my 18-month stint, at the end of it, I was done. I had a plan, I had a dream. It was in a manila envelope. It said STBT on it, which was Sisters That Been There. I left the jail and I made a promise to the women who I left behind that I would use my life as a story of inspiration and I would share my journey with them. And if it didn't work, then we could go on and create this commune and do whatever the hell we want and do as many drugs as we wanted to and whatever. But if it did work, that I wanted them to join me in the free world and live a productive and successful life beyond the walls. I got out without an expectation that I would make that happen right away. I gave myself 5 to 10 years, and within 9 months, I was being released off of probation and parole, and I was being offered a full-time position with the County of Santa Clara working with high-risk offenders. I share all of this because none of this was supposed to happen for me. I had a future in prostitution, I had a future in heavy drug use, and all of these things that come with the lifestyle. I was never gonna be nothing, is what I was told. And so I got this offer in 2011, and I was still actively on high risk parole and probation, and they wanted me to create my organization for women like me. And I was like, you realize that I am that? And they said yes. So I sat down and I got my first contract deal, and it was great. I did that for 5 years. And then at some point I had decided, I really want to impact a younger generation. If I can get to them while they're young, then I can maybe help change the direction of their life, and I won't be working with them as adults. And I had a very high success rate with my organization. It was recognized through the county. I became a poster child for Santa Clara County's reentry realignment program, and I had never experienced anything like it. It was uncomfortable. It was terrifying. They were calling me a hero, and I had never been called anything but a hopeless dope fiend who was never going to be nothing. So there was a lot of change that took place in order for me to be that in the eyes of this community. And I made a decision to come home. I'm originally from Humboldt County, and I grew up in Fairhaven. I attended Peninsula Union School, and I was a jump rope star at Peninsula, and I won awards for jumping rope, and I ran around Fairhaven riding my bike, and jumping rope with my best friend, and I had left Humboldt County in my addiction, and I had made it to Santa Clara County during my I had actually been taken to Santa Clara County and was being trafficked in Santa Clara County. I am now a survivor of human trafficking, and that is why I was in Santa Clara County. And I had gotten, caught my case there, and when I caught my case, they had told me that I needed to stay there, and I needed to make residency and get a place, and that I was going to be on probation, and that I could not return to Humboldt County where my family and my friends were. And I knew no one in this county except for people who had used and abused me, and I had to build a life for myself there. And I did all of that for myself. I was stuck in Santa Clara County for 15 years, and once I got out in 2011 and I had my dream and I started working towards it, I was making good money to where I could take care of myself. I also discharged off probation and parole successfully with honors. I was told it was the best interest of justice to release me from probation and parole. And all of these things, again, were just amazing miracles that were happening. And it dawned on me in the 5th year of working with high-risk offenders that I could move. I didn't have to stay there in Santa Clara County, that I could finally come home because there was nothing holding me there anymore. But now I had created a life, and I had friends, and I had a career. And so I really had to think about it. And I thought, there is nothing better than me moving with my new identity and my new career and changing the lives of maybe at-risk youth with what I've learned in the past 5 years. So I came out on a trip to visit my family here in Humboldt County, and I applied for a job and I got it. This job was a graveyard shift at a facility that housed families in need at the time. And I was like, this isn't working with youth. And they were like, yeah, you can't, you can't work with youth, your background, you'll have to do some things. And so I made a lot of moves. I thought, I'll get my foot in the door and we'll see what happens, right? So I did that job for 6 months, and I became with child, and I ended up losing that job. It's the first job I'd ever lost, and I lost it because I was falling asleep on the job, and come to find out, lo and behold, I was with child. So I took off for a year and nurtured my son and built my family and stayed home and got to know my newborn child. While I was pregnant, he had decided to surprise me on my birthday by taking me to a live burlesque show. And this was August 17, 2016. And I was mesmerized by the show. And I sat in my seat and I thought to myself, wow, I feel like this is what I had been doing all those years in the strip clubs, and this was what I was doing, but no one was appreciating it. And I knew that I was home, and I knew that I had found the stage that I belonged on. And so I had heard about this boot camp that was going to happen, and I jumped on the opportunity as soon as I could. My son was 5 months old when I took burlesque boot camp, and At that time, I had made the decision to do boot camp because I felt so ugly and lost, and that I felt ashamed of my body. I felt like I should have been able to get back to my regular shape and size, and I wasn't, and I was really hard on myself. I felt like joining a boot camp would be inspiring and I would get my sexy back. And that's what I was after when I signed up for the boot camp. And what I was experiencing in that boot camp was so much more. I seen the possibilities of a sisterhood, of being surrounded with women who embrace their bodies. And I was so excited to potentially be a part of something like that. And it was the missing link for me. I had my recovery community, I had my spiritual community, I had my family, and now I have found a dream and a goal that is more than just working, but it's something for me. And so I was very adamant about my time, my burlesque. I made time for it. I made sacrifices for it. I had never in my life had something that was for me ever. It was my first experience. And so I went into that with high expectations of it being what I had dreamt that it might be. And so I went through this boot camp. I met these women, and it was good. You know, I bonded with a particular performer, and we bonded over being married women and having new children. And that was really amazing for me. And so I was building these relationships, and I went through the boot camp and I put my all into it. I mean, I came out on stage in a time machine. I was the time traveler of Humboldt County burlesque, and I shocked myself, you know, that I was able to even do that. The thing was heavy, it was crazy, tall prop, and I remember before going on stage being in that box and wondering, how the fuck did I get to here? Why am I in this box? What am I about to do? And then the music came on and it was too late, and I was doing this thing, and I was like, wow. Now I had had this experience like with stripping, but it was so much different, and I was high half the time on drugs and alcohol, and I could hardly remember what I was even doing, and that just really helped a lot, right? So here I am, clean and sober, and about to go out on the stage, and I went out, and it was the most exhilarating experience that I had had in my life. I had never experienced that range of emotions. But I was powerful, and I was beautiful, and I was authentic, and people liked it. And I liked it, and I was empowered. You know, I began to embrace my body. I began to dance through my house and sing, and all of the negative self-talk began to dissipate, and I was Elektra Gray, a superhero who does superhero things, and someone who wants to shock you and to do the unexpected and do whatever the fuck she wants. You know, she's the bandit, and she does what she wants. She gets hers. When it's her time on stage, it's her stage, you know, and she is out for hearts. You know, I literally wanted to bring my life experience to the stage, and I wanted to share stories of my life through my performances, and tell you things that I have not told anyone, through dancing and through storylines of burlesque. And I have successfully begun to do that. And, you know, things today are not like they were then. And I will be telling you all so much more to come. But right now I feel like that's enough, and I'm gonna end it there. I was empowered. There was no stopping me. And that was my entry into burlesque. I hope that you will continue to stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. There's so much more to my story, so stay tuned in. I will be uploading more soon. Thank you for listening and for participating in my success.